Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at a blabbermouth article, take a look at a quote from Terrence Hobbs of Suffocation. Article, he says, why aren't there more black heavy metal musicians? And Terrence Hobbs weighs in, and I'm just going to give my thoughts later on in the video. And the link to the article itself will be in the description down below. And before I continue, I'm going to leave links in the description down below to check out songs by Intuned. I'm also going to be leaving links to check out my Instagram page and Twitter page, where you get to see what I'm listening to day by day, as well as what my band merch is looking like. And let's resume. Now, during an appearance on the latest episode of Laundry Audio, the Suffocation guitarist Terrence Hobbs discussed the lack of racial diversity among heavy metal musicians, with the genre primarily dominated by white guys. Asks why he thinks there aren't more black hard rock and heavy metal musicians. Now, Terrence drops a quote here, and a little early in the article he does make reference to some of the rock and metal musicians who happen to be black. But I'm going to just focus on this quote right here. I was in the room and just listening to things that had guitar. It wasn't dance music, it was heavy, and then we were in high school. Me and Frank Mullen, who was on vocals, and Mike Smith, who was on drums, and Doug Cerrito on guitar. We played the battle of the bands, and we all just wanted to play heavy music. For us, it was just that we wanted to do what we wanted to do, and it wasn't a matter of colour or anything. Now, taking the focus away from Terrence Hobbs, in 2020, last year, in a quite in-depth interview by Loudwire, Sepultura frontman Derek Green, who is black, said that the subject of racism in the music industry can be hard to understand if it's not something that affects you directly. He said, unless you really experience it, then it's hard for you to really imagine it happening. And he also said, but it's constantly happening. It exists all around the world, unfortunately. Also in the discussion was Beowulf's guitarist Doc Coyle, and he said that all you have to do is go to a God Forbid music video on YouTube and look at the comments and ask yourself if there's racism in metal. There's this idea that if I haven't experienced it, then it must not exist. It kind of speaks to this idea of the limitations of empathy. You can try to see the world through someone else's eyes, but you just can't. And the truth is, if someone feels like that's their experience, even if I haven't experienced it, I have to give them that latitude to express their experience. By saying it doesn't exist, that's the definition of gaslighting. And I'm also going to leave a link to that interview in the description down below. So here's what I think about this. So there clearly are metal and rock musicians out there who happen to be black, and then they're just doing their thing. Just like when Terrence was, and him and the other family members of Suffocation decided that they wanted to play heavy music regardless of what ethnicity they were. This approach should be the way to go, not just in terms of music, but in whatever you decide to do in life. And this leads back to the question stated by this article: why aren't there more black heavy metal musicians? And me personally, I believe it's because of this idea that a black or rock metal musician is a foreign idea to a lot of people out there, and this could discourage promising talent from breaking through. And this notion isn't just about music. I believe it refers to life in general, because someone happens to be of a certain ethnicity, and that means that they have to act a certain way or think a certain way. If we were all the same, then life would be pretty boring. And finally, being judgmental all the time just sucks the joy out of life. Just let people be. So there you have it. I'm going to leave the links I stated from the start in the description down below, and also I'll be interested to hear what you have to think about it in the comments down below. And as always, please be respectful when commenting. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.